Hello and welcome to the Peak Endurance Podcast for another episode of scintillating conversation between Ron and I.
Hello and welcome.
Yes, indeed. So here we are again. It's Tuesday night. We're cooking dinner. If you hear sizzling, that's the sausages.
And if you hear more sizzling, it's the potatoes boiling over. And you'll hear me, or you'll see me quickly jump up and put it down.
Yes, we're having mashed potatoes again.
Yay.
Not a fan, but anyway, things we do for love.
Fan.
Yeah. Yes, anyway. So here we are again, another week, and flipping heck, winter has hit with a vengeance in Melbourne. It's horrible. 2 degrees tomorrow morning.
Yep.
Look at that.
I had a coolish run tonight. It was, I think, about 9 degrees.
Well, I sat in the infrared sauna.
Yes, well,
way nicer.
Because we went to the gym and then I ran home from the gym while Isabel sat in the sauna.
Mind you, I ran this morning. So
that's right. Yeah, Isabel being a morning runner runs in the morning, and I was
4 degrees when I ran. So if you could stop whinging about your 9 degrees. And it was no, that's all right. You're allowed to.
I'm allowed to whinge.
You are.
Just like I'm allowed to whinge when I'm running and it's 40 degrees.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Then you can absolutely whinge. I couldn't think of anything worse. I'd rather run in 2 degrees than in 40 degrees. I'd rather run in negative 10 degrees than in 40 degrees. So I did the 100K.
Yes.
On Saturday.
So this last weekend was very hectic.
You did a lot of driving and I did a lot of flying.
For different reasons, yes. So on Friday
morning, we got up bright and early, and you drove me to the airport and threw me on the plane.
That's right. And then came home.
Sat on the couch
pretty much for the rest of the... I did go for a run.
You said you didn't on Friday. No, you did on Friday. Sunday you didn't. Yeah.
So I went for a run and then pretty much spent the rest of the day on the couch.
Yes. And I flew up to Queensland, and Greg, I don't know how to pronounce his surname, Punch. I think. Sorry, Greg, if I just butchered your name. And he picked me up from the airport, which was lovely. So it was like, door-to-door service.
Yeah, right. If you're going to fly, that's the way to do it.
Yeah. And took me home to his lovely home where I met his wife, Itana, who is lovely as well, and his son, Jack, who is 26, just like my son, Adam. So, a few similarities there. And the next day, Greg and Jack proceeded to crew me. Of course, on the way, we picked up a couple of bacon and egg McMuffins.
Of course.
Because there were none on the route. So, no, so we had to pick them up first.
That's Queensland for you. They're just not well organised.
No, not enough McDonald's. Not like here in Melbourne where there's one every 2 kilometres.
Yeah.
I proceeded. It was a late start. It was a 10 o'clock start, which was probably good because it was an hour and a half minimum drive there. But I was originally spewing, going, "Oh my God, a late start. Oh, I prefer to start it, early." But when I was running in the heat, I was thankful because it meant I actually got to run more of it in the cool of the evening. If I'd started at 8, I'd have spent more time in the daylight running. So I was really thankful.
So you started at 10 o'clock. You finished actually around 10:30 that night. So I guess at least 4 of your hours of running were in the dusk or dark.
Well, I mean, it started getting gloomy from 5:30.
Right, okay.
And, so... Yeah, and sort of a little bit more shaded from about 2 or 3.
Yep.
Now, this was a really tough race for me. I was quite nervous about it, not about how I was going to go, because that's not a consideration for me. But because it's a rail trail and it's basically flat. I mean, douche grade hill, which, that's fine. I walked it. Oh, that's a hill. Better walk it. But runnable. But of course, I'm not going to be running 100Ks the whole way. So I employed my run-walk strategy, which I was going to do time-wise, but then like I did at Coast to Cosy, I feel I just do it when my body wants to. So I'd, run until I'd had enough, and it started to feel a bit uncomfortable. And then I would walk, but I was walking fast, and I would keep walking until I was almost falling over. I was walking so fast. Then I would start running again. And then I'd run until it felt crappy. And what I did notice, after about 50 Ks when I started catching people, was even when I was walking, I was catching people who were running.
Yep.
And I would just do my run, walk, and they'd be running the whole time. And I'd catch them and overtake them, do my run, walk. And I bet you I finished feeling a lot better than they did as well.
Yep.
And I overtook a fair few people with that strategy. But that's not why I do it. I do it because for me, it's more efficient energy-wise, and that sort of thing, especially when I've got another one in 3 weeks' time. And I wasn't going for a gun time.
Yep.
Like back in the day when I was racing hard, I'd have run way more of it, but I also wouldn't have done 100K 6 weeks before and then, a few weeks before that and a week before that. So obviously, it's incomparable.
Yep.
Because it just is. It's a completely different scenario. But yeah, it was a tough course. It was a good course. Like, it's on the rail trail and it's a real journey. I do like a journey, point to point.
Yep.
But some of the trail, there was lots of stones and that, and I felt like I was kicking and tripping, and I didn't fall over, thank God. But I felt like I was constantly kicking and tripping on rocks. Which was, not all of it was like that, but there were portions.
Yep.
But I have to say, Greg and Jack did an awesome job. They were always at the aid station, ready and waiting for me, everything laid out, giving me big cheers and, giving me everything. And I'm very fussy with my drinks.
Yes.
And they didn't bat an eyelid when I told them about how fussy I was. Greg took it in his stride as if it was completely normal. Just saying.
Well done, Greg.
Because even Ron doesn't think it's normal. Because I've got to have certain bottles just for water and certain bottles just for electrolytes, and never the twain shall meet. Never. Because I don't like having my water in a bottle that's had electrolytes, because I can taste that mild flavour electrolytes and it makes me want to bath.
Nor does she like having water in a bottle that has had tap water in it.
Yeah, if it's had chlorinated water in it, I don't like it either, because I can taste chlorine. So I'd be throwing that away.
Yeah.
So yes, I'm not fussy at all. No. Just
particular, yes. And how did your nutrition go during
awesome
the race?
Like, I felt good. I mean, I started to feel a little bit meh at one point, and I just took a gastro and that was fine. But yeah, I ate my 1 3/4 bacon and egg McMuffins. I had a big bowl of porridge before we left, so that was probably like at least 2 hours before the race start, and that's just porridge made with water with some peanut butter and a bit of honey. And then I also had some chicken wrap, and I had some sour lollies when I found I needed some sugar. And I had some Coke and a glass of ginger beer, proper Bundaberg ginger beer. None is ginger ale crap, because that doesn't actually have any ginger in it. That's just the placebo effect if you think that's working, because it's got no ginger in it. It's just sugar water.
Yeah,
you might as well drink lemonade.
Ginger-flavoured sugar water.
Yeah. If you want real ginger to settle your stomach, you need Bundaberg ginger beer or something of that ilk.
Yeah.
So yeah, because I noted why I started having the lollies, and I've told Ron all this, but anyway, is I had a glass of the ginger beer and I suddenly had a pep in my step for the next 10 to 15 minutes. And I thought, I need sugar, because the bacon and egg muffins are great, but as you go further on, you do need sugar.
Yep.
I did have quite a mental low point from about 35 Ks to about 58 Ks or so, where I was just like, what am I doing? I think I'm going to give up running. Like, seriously. And I'm going to stop doing this stupid challenge, because, like, what is even the point? Why am I doing this stupid challenge? It's only just torture. Why am I doing? No one will care if I drop out. It's okay. I won't do any more of them. I'll just do the Switzerland and Austria races. And why am I doing this?
Oh dear.
And
I did get a message from you at
some point. Well, by the time the message went through, because I tried to send it to you, but there was no mobile reception. Okay. So by the time you got it, it was kind of moot.
Yeah. And then I think I was driving at the time home as well, so I couldn't respond to it straight away.
I don't know. I couldn't check. I wasn't checking with you. Oh, he's read my message and has replied. Because also I always put my phone on airplane mode.
Yeah.
Oh, I shouldn't say that, should I? You probably shouldn't have it on airplane mode, because if something happens, you need to have, if the race director tries to contact you or something.
Oh, yeah, but if you're in a race and you know something's going on, then you would turn it off.
Yeah, well, definitely.
If you need to contact someone, then you turn it off.
Yeah, I mean, I certainly, because also when you're in the there was very little bit of 3G when I say there was no. If you could turn the sausages. and the potatoes, there was very little reception. And so what happens when the phone is constantly searching for reception is it drains the battery. So that's why I also always put it on airplane. But yes, it really conserves the battery, mind you. I mean, I think I had 70% left or more. But yeah, I was having quite a few dark moments, and that was during one of the, just before and including one of the longest legs where I didn't see Greg and Jack. So it was like a 24.5K length, and that was the section which was primarily uphill for a long time, but douche grade uphill for a long time. And I'm just like, oh, I'm just soaked. Oh, I'm a crap runner, and all this garbage that we all say to ourselves.
Yeah.
So what I did was I just went through all the things that I teach, because even it happens to me, it's just knowing how to respond to it. And so I just went through the different things that I talk about when I do the mental strength training workshops and that sort of stuff. And I just did all of that, and I came out of it, and I was okay. And by the time I saw them at the aid station, I was fine.
Yeah.
And I was in a good mood again and perfectly fine. And it was still hard, don't get me wrong, it was flat. Still had another 42 Ks of flat to go. And none of it ever particularly felt downhill, just saying.
Oh, really? It was,
yeah.
Like,
on the rail trail, it sometimes feels like downhill, and you're like, oh, this is nice. There were small bits that did, but not like the amount of uphill.
Yeah.
So anyway, finally got, and then at about 90K, my leg behind my knee on my right hand side and sort of inner thigh sort of side of the knee on the right hand side really started to hurt. And any because sometimes there were like steep downhills and uphills going into the creek bed. Because the bridges were broken and that from the train, from the rail trail.
Yep.
And that really hurt, sort of extending my leg out, and I'm freaking out going, oh my God, how am I going to do Adelaide in 3 weeks, which is really hilly.
Yeah.
So I am a little concerned, but I've got a massage this Friday, and fingers crossed that does the trick. And I've been using the infrared on it like nobody's business.
Yeah.
Couple of times a day, and like I ran today and it was fine, didn't hurt at all. And I did run today. So today's Tuesday, so I did the race Saturday, Sunday, Monday, obviously rest days, although I went for a walk, a 6 and a bit K walk with Nikki, fast walk last night, and then this morning 6K jiggity jog, and like I said to Ron, it didn't feel terrible. It actually felt okay. I feel like I've recovered really well.
Yeah.
We figured out what the big recovery was, didn't we?
We did.
You've forgotten, haven't you?
Remind me.
It was at the end of the race.
Oh, yes, of course.
We went back to Greg's place.
Yeah, and she hadn't had enough McDonald's in her egg and bacon rolls, so she
had a Big Mac.
Stopped up for a sneaky Big Mac on the way home.
And normally I feel sick and I can't eat, even though I'm hungry.
Quite often we'll get home, like we'll plan to eat, and then we'll get back to wherever we're staying on after a race.
And we both feel like eating. We just want to go to bed.
We just don't end up eating because
it's too hard.
Yeah, it's too hard.
But he goes like, oh, I'm going to go pick up some Maccas for Jack, and he must have seen my hopeful face. He goes, would you like some too? Oh, yeah. But then I couldn't remember any of the burgers.
Yeah.
Because I wanted a McFeast, but I couldn't remember the name. Okay. Yeah. He's going, what do you want? I'm like, I don't know. I said, oh, I'll just get me a Big Mac. And it was horrible and good in many ways. Like the first 2 bites were okay. I mean, I'm not a Big Mac fan, to be honest. I'm not a McDonald's fan.
I can't in our
you've never seen me
together. I've never seen you eat a Big Mac.
Crap. I think they're just the worst burgers. We're Hungry Jacks. We had Hungry Jacks at the end of my Jesse's run.
Yeah.
But that's because in the city, that was all that was open.
Yeah, that's right. It was Sunday, so that was all that was open.
Still, it's a city. Jesus Christ, not a ghost town.
It was, during the COVID time. So
so I think eating something straight away, even though it was garbage, kickstarted my recovery a lot more. Right. So we're going to have to make sure at Adelaide that when we drive back from the start, we go past Hungry Jack's. Because that's all that'll be open.
Is that even a thing in Adelaide? Like
Burger King maybe there?
Yeah, I have no idea. Like when we were there last year, I don't actually remember seeing what was there. I remember seeing McDonald's.
Well, then if it's McDonald's,
I don't remember seeing any other. Like
all I'm saying is that we've got to eat, because otherwise I just think going to bed hungry, and then because like even then the next day I woke up and I couldn't even drink coffee. I know, right? And then
That's
I didn't,
madness.
I know, I didn't eat food until like 11:30.
Yeah.
No, 10:30.
Hmm.
So yeah. So I think it's really important. I mean, I always bang on about it, but it's easy to bang on about it. It's much easier to do that than do it.
Yeah.
So it really is important. Even just any food.
Yeah.
You know, anything at that point, it's just getting some calories in. And sure, it was McDonald's, and it's not very good for you, but at least it was some protein, some carbs, and some fat.
Yeah.
And that's what you need at that point.
Yep. No.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it was.
And you had your own adventures.
Yeah. So on the Saturday, I got up nice and early and drove down to Torquay, which is about a 2-hour drive from here, to sweep the Surf Coast Trail Marathon. So I got there bright and early and had myself a coffee and bought myself an egg and bacon roll for later on.
At McDonald's?
At McDonald's, yes.
You would be surprised how many people have been converted. I'm seeing a lot of people posting on Facebook, okay?
So Nelly lost
Just saying, McDonald's.
It nearly popped out of my bag.
Oh, no. That would have been a tragedy.
I looked back and I could see half a wrapper sticking out of the pocket.
Shit.
So I saved my bacon and egg.
Yes.
So yeah, I stopped and had that at the halfway market point at us while we were waiting for the last runner to start again.
And so that went well. You were there for 7.5 hours.
7.5 hours. The weather was nice. It was a bit windy, but the weather was nice until we got to about 3 Ks from the finish line, and then it started to rain. So we finished in the rain. One of the few that did, because it was quite late in the race. Yeah. But yeah, we did finish in the rain.
Anyway, well done for doing that. And some Melbourne City runner peoples.
Yes,
gave you a lift home. Back to Torquay, back to the car, which was really nice of them.
Apparently, I had missed the last bus. They
expected you to run back, did they?
Apparently. So yeah, thankfully, some Melbourne City runners gave me a lift back to Torquay to my car, and then I jumped in the car and drove home again. So I got home about 7 o'clock. And
then you waited for me to call.
Yeah, so I sat on the couch again, surprise, surprise. Although by then I couldn't do much more than that. Sat on the couch and waited for Isabel, because I was also getting updates from Greg about where Isabel was. Plus, Isabel herself was sending me some messages about where she was. And I did send him one message.
It was quite interesting because from about 80K, it's like 81K. 82K. I'm looking at my watch going, oh, for the love of 82.3. Oh, what 82.7. Oh my God. So I banned myself from looking at my watch, and I thought, I'm not going to look at my watch until it's 95K so I can send you a message saying park run to go.
Yes, because we do have that.
He normally says it any race distance we do, and I hate it when he says it.
And now I only say it because I know she hates it. But I'll look at my watch and she's almost ready for it. It says, don't say it.
So anyway, obviously I did have to check occasionally. I looked at 90 and then because I can kind of guesstimate distances quite well. And so during my walking break, I messaged him, park run to go. But I was actually really stoked about that for once.
Yeah.
So yes. Anyway, now also we have got a review.
Oh, yay.
A 5-star review. Now I'm not this. Yeah. This is from Samantha McGowan. I'm sorry, Samantha. That's my accent. I can't pronounce that word. McGowan. You would say, well.
Where's the name?
McGowan.
Yeah, McGowan.
Would you pronounce it Gowan?
Yes, you would.
Even though it's W-N, like gown, like a dress, gown.
I think, well.
Gowan would be W-A-N.
But the W is kind of pronounced W, so McGowan.
Samantha, message me and let me know, because I actually know her. And yes, so I didn't force her to write the review. When I say I know her, don't worry. Thank you, Isabel and Ron, for your podcast on endurance running. I love how your podcast is from 2 perspectives on issues, from a runner who has done a lot of events professionally to an everyday runner. I really appreciate your insights. Thanks, Sam. That's lovely.
So which one is she talking about? Who's the run professionally and
the everyday runner? Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
So And just looking at, we've been in the Slovenia, the 10 Commandments of ultra running, according to Isabel and Ron, was at number 27 in Slovenia.
Oh, we're hitting the Slovenian market.
Yeah, righty-o. Hello.
Awesome.
And we've been in France. Well, we're visiting France. If you're listening in France, we're going to be in Paris. I've forgotten the dates, but we're going to be there, and we're going to be in Chamonix. Just message us.
Yeah.
And we'll catch up. It'll be fun.
Yeah, we'll be covering 2 areas, Paris and Chamonix. So.
Yes, so let us know.
Yep.
Anyway, all right, so we're on to the topic.
Yes.
We're like 20 minutes in, and we'll actually get to the topic. So this is a post that I saw on Insta, I think. It was actually suggested for me, the post. And it says 10 things all runners love. And I thought we could talk about it and say, do runners, all runners, really love these things? What do you reckon?
Well, there's a few things in there that raise my eyebrows because, as we'll get to,
Yes.
they're perhaps not so important to me.
No. All right, carbs is the first thing.
Carbs.
What about those runners who don't eat carbs?
I know. I do love carbs.
Love
Carbs are the
reason for running.
the anchor of my diet, basically.
I tried going carb-free running, and can I tell you, it was crap. You run slow, you feel like a bag of shit.
Yep.
It's horrible. And yes, your body adapts, but why?
Yeah.
Why would you want to?
One of the things...
run slow. To run fast, you need carbohydrates. I'm sorry, you just do. That is the way the body is designed. You can't trick the body, you can't hack the body.
Yeah.
If you want to run faster, you need carbs, whether that's in an ultra run or not. And many of the ultra runners who are known for not having carbs or carb-free diets take carbs in during races.
Yeah.
Okay, just saying.
No, when Isabel and I talk about what I'm eating, her first response is, "Well, you've got the carbs covered. What about protein?"
Yes. Yeah, he does kind of over consume the carbs. I mean, I love them too, but yes.
Yeah.
All right, next up, oversharing. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, there are some people out there who do like to overshare.
I was talking about me on runs, not necessarily back in the day when I used to run with people. Some of the conversations.
Sorry, you're talking about conversation, not necessarily like oversharing on social media. And stuff.
Maybe. I'm talking about conversations
during our run.
It's when you're running, and some of the like the poo conversations, and some of the things you do, like during Barclay. When me and I don't know, should I say this? I'm just going to overshare. Should I overshare?
Why not? You might as well. We're talking about it, so I'll do it.
Both busting constantly for a week, and we ended up, we couldn't be bothered hiding from each other, and we'll just squat down next to each other and still chat. Just so it was like, what's even the point?
Yeah.
So there, I just overshared.
Thank
and
you.
Everybody, it breaks down those barriers when you're running with people. And I think it's great. It really... some of the conversations I've had with almost complete strangers.
As a runner, particularly an ultra runner, you do get the worst of yourself, as in, the body does, present issues that are not...
You can't hide.
Yeah, that's right.
I have to give my crew warnings before.
It becomes, more natural to, because you experience them so much, it becomes more natural to talk about them as well. Yeah. Because everyone, experiences it.
Yeah, that's right. Their bodies, their human bodies, right? Like my saying always used to be, even the Queen goes to the toilet and does a poo, but the Queen's dead now.
I can't imagine that. So
no, I know. It's weird, isn't it? All right, the next thing is all runners love neon.
This one I disagree with wholeheartedly. I don't own any neon. In fact, most of my running gear is either black or grey.
So Melbourne of you.
I do have some, blue things.
I mean, this is bright, right? But it's not neon. I mean, this colour doesn't show in this light. Yeah. I'm not into neon, and I know there are people, like the neon runs and all that.
Yeah.
But I don't think as a whole, definitely not in Melbourne. Oh my God, I'm normally the only one wearing any colour. We go out and I always put on colour because I'm sick of everyone running in black, 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 black. And then some black to go with the black.
Yeah. And which is me, basically.
Because Ron went the other week, but I wore colour. I said, you're wearing grey.
Yeah, that's it. It's a colour.
Yeah, so, it's actually not. But
that's as colourful as I get.
Yes. So I've bought him some coloured shirts before, but he's a bit uncomfortable.
I mean, I do have some.
Yeah, because I bought them.
Yeah, some t-shirts that are a little brighter.
Yeah.
A lighter shade of grey.
Yes. Aha, boom tish. All right, waving to strangers. I wouldn't say we wave. The nod and the smile.
Not in the smile.
But can I say,
g'day?
Yeah, people are getting really crap at it. People are doing it less.
Yeah, it's funny. We, because we do spend quite a lot of time in the hills, and on a Sunday when where we do our hill repeats is a very busy area for walkers.
They're friendly,
and some people are very, very friendly. They'll give us a wave, say hello. They'll stop us and ask, stop us and ask us what we're training for.
And we love a chat.
Yeah.
But on the bike paths and that, and you pass a runner, and some of them will deliberately avoid even looking at you. They'll look like over somewhere, I don't know where, or they'll look at the ground, or I'll go hi, and they don't reply, so I reply for them. But it's the hell, people. Like, seriously, how hard is it to be a nice human being and just say hi?
Just a smile,
a nod. You don't have to go. Hello. You don't have to have a conversation with us. Just a nod. Just a nod.
Yeah, quite often I'll just give them a nod and say, "How you doing?"
Well, I just find people are very not personable.
Yeah. Yep.
All right, next one, poo stories. And I just spoke about that without sharing. I have been on a run before and had heard poo stories. But I wouldn't say it's something all runners laugh. We don't always talk about it.
No, but
I think that's kind of almost oversharing.
I think it is doubling up a little bit.
I would almost go gastrointestinal distress instead.
As a trail runner, you'd get more poo stories.
True, because
there's more.
There's no toilets.
You don't have the public toilets that you do as a road runner.
Yeah.
So you do end up disappearing into the bushes more regularly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which then creates their own little poo stories.
True, I guess.
Like me disappearing into the bushes and then dropping my car
That's
key.
True. That's true.
And then us having to
run back and get it.
Back to the bushes and try and find the key. So I
made him look for it, not me. Ooh.
Oh, nice.
You're gross. I don't want to be digging through your food.
I wasn't sitting in the middle of it. Thankfully.
Thankfully. That would have been really shit. God, I'm funny.
I mean, it was wrapped in toilet paper.
But... so yes, there are poo stories, no doubt.
Yeah.
All right, medals. I don't love medals.
No, this is one of those things where you either love them or you hate them. You see, people do collect them and they keep them and hang them on their wall.
I'm so not into that.
No,
I've
not
thrown most of mine out.
The only medals we've kept are the what's the one?
Oh, from the races we've been doing.
Races where there's a like 2 bays where there's a bottle opener.
Oh yeah, we've got so many bottle openers and we never drink got that beer.
That's the bottle openers.
Yeah, well.
But other than that, we tend to put them on a laundry
ironing board
bench for a little while, and then after a while we clean them up.
Yeah, no. And I used to have like a whole bag of them, and I threw them all away except for ones when I represented Australia or I raced in Europe and that sort of stuff. And even then, I don't know where the hell they are because I've moved so many times since then. I wouldn't have a bloody clue.
Yeah.
PBs. We all love a PB, supposedly.
Well, we do.
But I don't think running should just be about that.
I don't.
Especially now that I'm slow.
I don't go out of my way to get a PB, but when I get it, it still makes you feel good.
Yeah.
It's
absolutely. But I wouldn't say that's all people strive for.
With the age of Strava, it's a lot easier because it compares for you and tells you. Although then, 2 years later, it forgets that you did that PR.
I know, it's funny.
And it tells you you've done your fastest half marathon when you know for a fact that you've run faster.
Yeah.
So, but it does make you feel a little better when you do a PB.
Yeah, or you run, or when it tells you you're running the same course faster and that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But if people really listened to that and did that, then all they would do is run all their runs hard, like you used to do.
Yeah.
Which is not the best thing for you anyway.
Yeah, but then it comes to a point where you're not running PRs because you can't run any.
It's the law of diminishing returns.
Yeah, that's
so it ends at some point.
Yeah.
All runners love not stretching. I think I would probably agree with
I'll
that.
put my hand up here.
I mean, I stretch, but I don't love it.
Yeah.
I stretch because it's a necessity.
I love
and it's important.
I love stretching because I can watch Isabel do it for half an hour. I don't like doing it myself.
Yeah, I know. He helps me stretch
Stretching for me is me getting up off the couch to come and help Isabel stretch.
because I can't touch my toes.
To help her touch her toes.
Even then, my knees are bent. But yeah, no, I don't love stretching. I just love how it makes me feel.
Yeah.
So therefore, I love stretching. I love not stretching too. And if I could get away with that, I would, but I can't. 10, another thing that all runners love is passing people. Yes and no.
Yeah.
That's sort of along the lines of PBs.
Yeah.
It's nice to be faster than other
Yeah,
people.
it is.
And certainly, like in that race on the weekend when I started passing people, it made me feel a bit better.
That's right. Particularly when you run in the style that you do, and hence we do when we run together, where we start slow, but we finish stronger.
Yeah.
And so it happens quite often where, you know, we will in the last half to 3/4 of a race, we're actually regularly passing people.
Yeah, I mean, that's how I've always run my races, and you used to do the opposite.
I was the person being passed.
And it's and we've discussed this, and it's much nicer doing the passing.
It is, very much so.
Yeah. We go out hunting wabbits.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
That's what I always used to call it. I heard it called that once in the Trail Runner Nation podcast. It's hunting wabbits. and that's what I always thought of it as.
Yeah.
And that's why I used to try not to get upset when everyone would blast off and leave me behind, huffing and puffing up the back.
Yeah.
Another thing that all runners love is talking about running. We never talk about running.
Never, ever. Once we finish our run, it never comes up again.
No. Yes, runners love talking about running.
I think it probably consumes 90% of our life.
Surely not. Yeah, actually, yes.
Yeah.
But
it is that because we love it and we love talking about it.
Yeah.
So,
you know, we don't just talk about, like, when we talk about running, what do we talk about? We sound like that Japanese guy. What I talk about when I talk about running is his book. Anyway, sorry, I digress. Right. I mean, we don't talk specifically about running, but we talk about what runs we're going to do, what was a good run, what races we're going to do, what we should have food we should have for the run, what the podcast is going to be about.
Yep.
You know, I mean, and I'm a running coach. I mean,
and that's something else we talk about.
Yeah, it's my coaching and you know, that sort of stuff. So it's kind of hard to not talk about running. Yeah.
But it does help, like particularly that we are thankful for and we talk about all the time. It helps when we both love running.
Yeah, because as we both know, it's hard when you have a partner who's really not interested. Yeah. And you've got no one to talk to, or you've had a great run and you're excited and you want to tell someone and no one gives a shit.
Yeah.
You know, it's hard. Or, you know, actively shuts it down. That's hard. And for those of you who are in that situation, we feel for you and we understand that it is hard.
Been there, done that.
Yeah. And we are very grateful that, you know, and cognizant of the fact that what we have is rare, perhaps, and that we are very lucky.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you know, but yes, we love talking about running because running is ace.
It is. It's cool.
It's cool. It's rad, dude.
It's rad.
and other old people talk.
Old people.
Is it drip though? Or is that just for fashion?
I don't even know if you use that in the right context.
I don't think I do. I think it's for fashion, but I know it's a cool word, so I better use it.
Just don't know.
My son taught me that word, but then he laughed at me.
We tried to use it and used it completely.
Mum, you so wrong. Just forget it, Mum. What would you know? And I tried to inform him that I'm very cool.
Yep.
But he wouldn't have a bar of it.
He didn't believe it. No, as all children of parents, you know, when the parents are trying to be cool, they don't buy it.
But I am cool.
You are. You are very cool, just not to your children.
No, I know, sadly. If only they knew how cool I am.
Yeah, that's
it. Sorry. All righty. So here we have come to an end of another podcast. And I've run out of topics because I haven't seen any other interesting posts on Instagram. So if people have an idea, something that they would like to know about, a training theory that they're interested in, otherwise I'll think up something. Don't you worry about that. We will think up something. Yeah, you've got some,
Yeah.
you wrote some ideas down, didn't
Yep.
you? But if there are any particular questions you people do have, as sorry, I'm faffing, with Velcro, which is not
Yeah,
really
which is
good to
great,
do when you're on a
great.
podcast. If you've got any specific training questions or nutrition questions or anything like that, please do let us know.
As far as our training goes, we'll be heading into the hills a lot more
yes.
again. Like we've got some of the flat runs done and out of the way. So
Thank the Lord.
So now we've got Ultra Adelaide coming up, and then
Switzerland for me.
Switzerland and Austria.
But then after that, we've got, what's in October? I think it's Human Hovel.
Yeah.
And that's
No
flat.
idea.
That's
No idea what that is
1,800 meters elevation.
Okay.
Which is more than the rail trail. That was 562.
Yeah.
Something terrible.
But we'll be heading into the hills a lot more now.
Yes.
So that's our happy place.
So if you see us in the hills, say hey.
Yeah.
And if you're listening in Europe, like we said, come on, nobody's messaged us. I'm feeling very unloved.
Yeah.
So let us know, because we would like to meet some people over there, and we could do, a video and that sort of stuff. It'd be a bit of fun.
We will be doing,
podcasts.
Podcasts.
We'll do like a live feed from Chamonix.
Yeah.
We might go into the city and walk around, and maybe we could, maybe Killian will be there.
Yeah, I'm sure he'd like to come on the podcast.
He'll go, oh, look at Isabel.
Oh, wow. Peak Endurance Podcast. I've been waiting to get on.
Absolutely, he will. Oh, yeah.
Well, having said that, you have had Jim Walmsley on.
I have had Jim Walmsley on. Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's
100%.
right. So,
you are right. Yes.
So we do, swim around in the the top end of the lake.
Yes, but Sally McRae didn't read any of my messages, Insta or Facebook. Whatever. Anyway, so yes, if you're overseas, please do message us. We would love to meet you if you're listening.
Yep.
And we mean that completely sincerely. We're not just saying that. We actually mean it sincerely.
Yeah.
Maybe they just don't listen to the end of the podcast. Maybe they just give up.
Or maybe they just don't understand what we're saying. They're just listening to the tune of our voices.
I think they are. Yes. Anyway, all righty. Well, great to. I was going to say see you all again, but we didn't see you. You saw us. If you watched the YouTube, if you didn't, you heard us. Great to. We really appreciate you choosing to listen to this podcast. We truly do.
It's just us being us and chatting away.
Yeah, in our kitchen at home, cooking dinner. We're going to watch some crap on television now.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, no doubt.
We've watched some crap over the last couple of days.
God, Hudson Hawk, don't watch it. I mean, I'd seen it before and remembered it was crap, but then we watched it. It was really terrible.
Coming up on our recommendations. And in the end, we watched it just to get it off our recommendations.
It was terrible.
Although, I mean,
Andy McDowell being a dolphin? No.
In the end, Isabel got up and had to walk into the kitchen. So I got to sit on the couch and laugh.
And he was laughing. I'm going, it's not funny.
It was so stupid. It was funny.
And what was the movie before that we watched that was crappy too?
Oh God!
Well, this is not good podcasting.
No, I can't remember.
Well, it was crap, whatever it was. So we've picked a couple of doozies, but it was partly me too. That was my fault. Like normally I blame Ron for the crappy choices because he likes that really dumb sense of
humor. I'm pretty partial to Monty Python.
And I find that just
that sort of thing. So
I find that dumb humor. Silly voices.
I find it quite funny.
Yeah, which is fine.
It's a simple thing, and I'm a simple person. So
I like highbrow comedy. No, I don't. I like actually action and murder and blood and guts and car chases.
Which is great because I like watching action movies too.
Yeah, so it actually that's more what we like.
We do love a spy action thriller type thing.
Yeah, a bit of gore and anyway, enough about us. As we said, great to have you on board. Be like Sam, leave us a review. We really appreciate it. And we will catch you. And this time I'm not going to say anything silly at the end. I said it all during the middle.
Yeah.
We will catch up with you next week. Bye.
Bye-bye.